I spent $40,000 of my own money testing Facebook ads against cold email for the exact same offer. And the reason that I did that is because I was tired of all this back and forth online. Cold email professionals saying that Facebook ads don't work, and Facebook ad professionals saying that cold email doesn't work. Everybody has an opinion and anecdotal evidence, but I've never actually seen someone test it with their own money. So I said, screw it. I'll just figure this out on my own. 20 grand on Facebook ads and 20 grand on my own cold email process. Same offer, same budget. I think most people are gonna be surprised by the outcome of this experiment and the numbers that came from both of these channels. Let's dive in. 40K testing cold email versus Facebook ads. Same offer, same budget. Just to quickly summarize why I tested this, everybody has opinions. Marketing debates rage on social media daily. Nobody's actually showing the data. Everybody has anecdotal evidence and theories. They say things have worked for them. Cold emails work, paid ads don't work. It just goes back and forth all day. And third and most importantly, I needed real answers for my company. I run paid ads. I run cold email. I do cold email for clients, and so I wanted to know how the two compare against each other. Quick context into myself and the experiment. We send high volume cold email. So obviously, when I say I spent 20 grand, that is essentially what I would charge myself to run this volume of outbound that we ran. Secondly, is I paid an agency to help me with the ads. And then third and most importantly is I love both channels. They both work for my business. They probably both work for your business too. And so my intent here isn't to shit on one and hype up the other. It's really to just show kind of what worked for my business and how we're continuing to scale. Quickly diving into the setup. Facebook ads, this was $20,000 of ad spend. So this excludes the retainer that I paid on top of this. We ran a book a call funnel for my outbound system. So high ticket offer. On the cold email side, the 20 grand is essentially the retainer that I would charge myself to send the level of volume that we did. And this is completely done for you. There's no additional fees outside of it. So cold email does have the advantage here that I kind of leave out in that I had to pay an agency retainer on top of that 20,000. Domains, inboxes, that's all covered in our retainer. This is for a B2B outbound offer, my offer. So results do vary 100% by industry offer type. So quick campaign breakdown just to show you that this is real. I don't know if you can see that, but this is my ads manager. Down here it says $19,000, 606 in spend, and then some of our metrics on like cost per metric. But really just to show you, look, we ran a lot of ads. And then here's our internal reporting dashboard for cold email. You can see 238,000 emails sent, 97,000 contacts hit. We were running quite a few different campaigns as well. We have a lead tracker down here as well to just categorize leads, meeting booked, follow-ups, long-term follow-ups. And this is really kind of how we keep track of everything for our clients. So let's get into the numbers, the raw results. Meetings booked, you can see here, I've got an initial screenshot. These are very similar metrics, right? They're very close. CPMs were 119 versus 120. Your CPMs are essentially your cost per 1,000 impressions. It shows you how much does it cost to put your business in front of your audience. Our job is to get your offer in front of as many decision makers as we possibly can in the shortest time period. It makes sense that the cost per impression is roughly the same on the two channels, because if it was drastically different, probably should just use the other channel. More importantly though, is the meetings booked here. Facebook ads, for all intents and purposes, crushed cold email on the number of meetings booked. On Facebook ads, cost per meeting, $168. For cold email, it was $227. So 119 meetings booked on Facebook ads, 88 booked on cold email. So obviously on the surface, ads looked like the winner, right? More meetings, that's great, that's amazing. Lower cost per meeting, it's easy to scale. The algorithm does the heavy lifting. I didn't have to build any lists. I did have to film a ton of videos, my VSL, do all this fancy stuff. But we put good ads into a campaign and basically let it rip. But here's the kicker. When you go a layer deeper, first you want to know how many people actually showed up to those meetings. Cold email had a 74% show rate as opposed to Facebook ads where I had a 61% show rate. And one important caveat here is that I was doing a lot of work to get the 61% show rate. I would text my leads, I would call my leads, I would email my leads, I would do whatever it took to get one point of contact before actually showing up to that meeting. Because when you can get a response from that lead in any sort of way, your likelihood of them showing up increases drastically. For cold email, to get a 74% show rate, I didn't do anything. We booked the meeting, they got a normal email nurture flow from me, but I didn't text them, I didn't call them, I didn't send them any additional assets. I simply showed up to the meeting and they showed up as well. So I could have gotten this number a lot higher, and that's something we're actively working to implement. Just off the two systems that we ran, more people showed up to the calls through cold email. When you think about how people interact with your ads on Facebook or Instagram, they're scrolling, They're not necessarily looking for an outbound solution. You said something that they liked, they got hooked in your funnel, and at the moment and at that time, they felt that they needed to book a call with you. So they booked a call for 3 days out, and time goes by, and when it's time to actually take that meeting, they might have booked 5 other calls. They don't necessarily remember exactly who you are. There's a shit ton of reasons. There's a whole host of reasons why people don't show up to these meetings. But through cold email, when we are hitting our target market specifically, we're hitting the people we want to talk to. Naturally, you're gonna have more qualified individuals. And when you have more qualified individuals, your show rate is just naturally higher as a result. And I believe this is because we built the list specific to who we wanted to talk to. We booked the calls. So when someone responded yes, we looked at their business, looked at their responses, and see if it made sense to book the call, and then book the call. We weren't gonna book the call if it was some bad business or it looked like it wasn't going to be a fit. And so when you have more qualified individuals, naturally your show rate is going to be higher. Now we go to the next layer down, which is, okay, we took the calls, we took the 88 calls, we took the 119 calls, only a certain portion of them showed up. The next layer down is how many of these individuals were actually qualified for our offer. And again, what we found here is cold email had a higher qualification rate than Facebook ads. This comes down to just the nature of the channels. When we're running Facebook ads, anybody can book on your calendar. They can lie on the application. It's very hard to qualify through Facebook ads, right? I run a cold email offer. It is not meant for every business. Cold email, we are building the list specific around the ICP, and we are only hitting those individuals. So we shouldn't be hitting anybody who's not a fit for what you're looking for. When you determine who you talk to, you have a relevant offer for them, and then you only book in the calls based on the positive responses that actually look like a good fit for your business. The people who show up to those calls, they're naturally going to be more qualified. By the way, this is exactly what I do for B2B companies all day long. I help them build cold outbound systems that rival metrics that they couldn't get on any other platform. Seriously, I don't know of another channel aside from Facebook ads that is as scalable as the cold email systems that we're building for companies. So if you are interested to learn more, click the first link in the description below and it'll take you to my page with more info about my offer. So here's the main point that I'm driving home is that lead quality was truly night and day. Cold email booked me less meetings, but I knew I wanted to talk to these individuals. I knew they were decision makers at companies that I wanted to talk to and that were a good fit for my offer at a much higher rate than what I was getting through Facebook ads. And that is simply because it's harder to qualify through Facebook ads. Now that we have all that data, we have our initial cost per meeting, we have our show rates, we have our qualification rate, we can look at our cost per live qualified call. Paid ads, $20,000 to spend, 119 meetings booked, 61% show rate, 71% qualification rate, $391 cost per live qualified call. That's in a good range for my business, so I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna keep spending. Cold email, $20,000 of retainer spend, 88 meetings booked, 74% show rate, 79% qualified rate on the leads that showed up for a $389 cost per live qualified call. Essentially, for all intents and purposes, the same cost per live qualified call. The only difference is I had to take less meetings for cold email. So my calendar was less busy. I had to do much less qualification work and excluding the retainer that I paid the agency to run my paid ads. I could not have gotten the same results running this myself. I would never have built that good of a landing page. I wouldn't have built the confirm page videos. I wouldn't have known to text these leads at the level I do. When you look at what actually matters, how much did it cost you to get a live qualified call with someone who's a good fit for your business? Pretty much the same, and they are both within the range of what's good for me and what's healthy for me to continue to grow my business on both of these channels. Let's talk about the advantages of cold email real quick. Most importantly is it's precision targeting. You are talking to people who are a good fit for your business. If you have a clear picture, just clear ideas of who is a good fit for your business, you have product market fit, you know who you need to be talking to, it is very simple to reach them. So as long as you know how, or you work with someone like me who knows how to handle the deliverability side of this, you shouldn't be dealing with any sort of surprises like you do on Facebook ads. Third is you own the system. With cold email, you own the domains, you own the inboxes, you have the keys to your own growth channel. It is just as scalable as Facebook ads. All you need to do is add more infrastructure and you can send more emails. And then lastly, and this is super important, is it was very low lift. I didn't have to do a bunch of filming, creative testing, texting these leads to get them to show up, filming a VSL, filming confirm page videos, re-educating the market. It was pretty much set up the infrastructure, build a good offer, and start sending emails. So some takeaways from this video that I want you guys to take with you. The first thing and the most important thing that I want you to take away is that cold email is a marketing channel. It's not a sales channel. Literally think of it as a private ad network. Think of it the same way you would think of Facebook ads. In fact, it's the only channel that's as scalable as Facebook ads. Your job with cold email is to get your offer in front of every decision maker in your target market. Don't be afraid to treat it like an ad network. You might see less meetings, but you know a high majority of those meetings that you're going to get from cold email are gonna be quality meetings just because you are targeting your decision makers. So just to recap, when you actually measure qualified calls and the level of spend and effort required to get those calls, cold email was the winner for my business. The ad spend excluded the retainer, it excluded the effort required for me to set everything up and start running it, it excluded the level of effort that I put in to make sure that the leads show up. And so even though there was only a $2 difference in the cost per live qualified call, when you include everything, cold email outperformed for my business. Now, a lot of people struggle with cold email and they say cold email is dead. And for lack of a better way to say this, I think most people are just doing it wrong. They're not treating it like a scalable marketing channel in the same way that they treat paid ads. You know, they're trying to sell themselves super hard through the email. They're talking about all these great things about them. They are sending 2, 3, 4 follow-ups and they're only hitting a small section of their market. With cold email, you have to be aggressive and you have to play big. You want to send an email to every single decision maker in your target market and hit them with one really good offer. Email them once every 60 days. Stop sending those annoying follow-ups. If they didn't respond to the first email, why are they gonna respond to the second or third? That's the difference between treating it like a sales channel versus treating it like a marketing channel. Your job is to put your offer and put your business in front of everybody. You're gonna hit those individuals that are in their buying window, and you're gonna generate more demand on top of that when you have a strong offer that resonates with the individuals that you're talking to. So if you found this helpful, literally all I ask is that you like and subscribe. It shows me that these videos are useful and that I should continue to make more of them. And if you're a B2B company doing $1 million or more in revenue and you're looking for ways to scale your business, maybe you've tried cold email and it didn't work, maybe you're on Facebook ads and you're crushing it and you want to add another channel, but you're looking for that next level of growth in your business and a predictable channel that can get you qualified meetings on your calendar done for you, check out the first link in the description below, learn more about my offer, and then you can book in a call to meet with me directly. We can see if you're a good fit. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.